Hey guys, something that keeps me going in the plant obsession, if you will, is creating a display of plants that like feels good, looks good, which my plant displays are beautiful to me. But of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it's fine if you don't feel the same way about my plant displays. I'm totally okay with that. I get it. It's fine. We all have different things. I'm at a point where I've really fine-tuned my jungalow home, all the little different display methods and things and settings and setups I have around the place to be really comfortable for me and satisfying and rewarding to me. I've consolidated all of my best tips and tricks into today's video. There will be timestamps down below because I have categorized this video into 3 different sections. Section 1 will be my tips. These are going to be more obvious kind of rules I try to follow. Section 2 is the tricks. My tricks up my sleeve. These are more actionable. These are things that once you've clicked off my video, you could like go do to your plant right now to make it look better. Section 3 is going to be my step-by-step for how I style my plants. So like I'm going to use the example, I'll use the example of my IKEA shelf back here from start to finish, how I go about styling it. Those timestamps will be listed down in the description box if you want to skip around a little bit. Section 1, my plant display tips. Again, these are more of the obvious things I keep in mind as I'm placing plants around my house. Tip number 1, stop fighting the environment. This is one I've struggled with. To me, this is a very basic plant display tenet. At one point, I just really wanted to keep plants on every single surface in my house, which is fine, but every single surface in my house is not cut out to house a plant. I've lost many plants by trying to keep them in an unsuitable environment. I have learned my lesson probably 100 times over. Took a long time, but it's learned. It's in there now. Stop fighting the environment. Work with the environment. Which brings me to tip number 2. Consider the light source. The unique environmental factors in my house are going to be different from your house. You know, we have our own our homes, even if we live in the same state, are their own sub-environments. Like we all keep our air conditioner and heater and temperatures in our homes at different places. We have different drafts in different places, different lighting, different direction facing windows. You know, all those things create a little unique ecosystem that can drastically alter the way a plant is going to grow in any given space. As far as environmental factors go, lighting, in my opinion, is number 1. Our plants need to get enough light. Period. Even outside of just plant health, the lighting is really important to consider in a display because our plants are going to grow toward it. If I want a plant to grow in a space with no artificial lighting, I'm strictly relying on natural sunlight through my windows. I only keep plants in spots where the light source comes from the direction I want the plant to look good. Here in my main living area, I have these 3 pretty large north-facing windows. Right now I do have a golden pothos on my mantle, which can tolerate a bit lower light. Even then it is still reaching and facing toward my north windows this way, which is fine. I think it looks good up there. It's just a good example that if I'm looking at this plant from the back side, it does not look as good as from the front side. So anytime I'm placing a plant, I do really try to consider where the strongest light source is coming from. I do actually think plants grow best when they have minimum two direction light sources. They just look a lot more full this way because all the leaves aren't just stretching in one direction. They kind of have their option of where they're going to stretch. In this case, it's here and here. The plant looks a lot better from the direction the leaves are facing than from the bald back section. It's kind of like how when I do my own hair, I like do the front, but I can't see the back. But if anybody looks at me from the back, they're going to be like, same with my plants. Tip number 3 is to keep healthier plants. Duh. An unhealthy plant is just always going to look off, almost uncomfortable to look at. And I can't quite pinpoint what exactly that is, but when a plant is unhealthy, I think it's pretty obvious. And I don't know if that's my plant care hobby speaking or if that's something kind of everybody feels when they look at an unhealthy plant. A healthy plant 100% of the time is going to look better. To that note, tip number 4 is to keep less plants. And this one has been a very hard pill to swallow for me because I've kept many, many plants. I got into plants because of Summer Rain Oaks plant collection tour. I'm sure you guys know the one because I think it got a lot of us into this hobby, but she just had floor to ceiling plants. It looked so cool. Just I loved that look and really wanted that same look in my own home. I just realistically don't have the time to keep that many plants that could create that dense of a plant display. Even outside of the time factor, it gets really expensive to care for that many plants. All the things can really add up in a large plant collection. For me, I've just realized that keeping less plants allows me to better keep healthy plants. Stop fighting the environment, consider the light source, keep healthier plants, keep less plants are my 4 main plant display tips. Now to my plant display tricks. The better one. These are my better little things that I figured out. Trick number 1, use a collage app for pairings. I use Canva. This has come in so handy and really leveled up my, especially planter pairings. It has really helped me to make my decisions as far as what pot I'm going to plant any specific plant into. Snap a picture of it, upload those to Canva. I like to put all of my plants that currently need repotted onto one page, remove the background, and then I'll add those photos of the planters as well. And I can kind of swap things around, test things out. And it's a little bit rough, but it gives me a pretty good idea of how I can configure my different pairing options in the best way, what's going to overall look the best in this round of plant pottings. And I do most often use this for my plant and planter combinations, but you can also use it for larger pieces of furniture. I've also used this method for deciding on a rug for my dining room, and you could even organize your plant shelf on this before actually organizing your plant shelf. Once you get everything moved off of a plant, especially one with a lot of different pieces like my IKEA shelf back here, it can be really difficult to visualize how you want it to look. So this is a really great way to get a good visual, a pretty decent visual on what options you have. You can play around with it a little bit easier than actually having to physically move things or physically pot things to get the desired result. A lot less effort. I can do this from the comfort of my Helix Sleep mattress. See, from the comfort of my Helix Sleep mattress. Who is the sponsor of today's video? Helix Sleep conveniently offers 20 different mattress options to better suit individual sleep needs. Shipped right to your door for free anywhere within the US. I've been sleeping on my Helix Sleep mattress, ta-da, for 5 years now. Me and my bed, we've been through a lot. Pregnancy, postpartum, the true exhaustion I felt after I ran my first half marathon. This bad boy has really carried and caressed me through some rough nights. Ryan and I have loved our mattress so much. Our kids now sleep on Helix mattresses as well. My oldest started kindergarten this week, and as excited as he is, he's equally exhausted. It's great for me and Ryan to be able to rest easy, knowing that he's sleeping on a comfortable, safe kids mattress solution. The kids mattress, you can you flip it based on their age. So I love that this is something we're not going to be replacing in the next stage of their sleep needs. If you've been considering a mattress update for you or anyone in your family, right now is a great time because you can take advantage of their Labor Day sale, 27% off everything, anything on their website. They also have mattress toppers if you need a little extra support in certain areas. You can get that 27% off by using my link down in the description, helixsleep.com/HarliG. And again, that's for 27% off. You'll just take their Helix Sleep quiz and then they'll match you to what they feel is the perfect mattress for you. If you're nervous about buying a mattress online, their Happy with Helix guarantee ensures seamless returns and exchanges. Plus they offer a 100-night sleep trial, so you get a little over 3 months to try your mattress out and make sure it is the perfect fit for you. Definitely check out my link in the description box. Thank you so much, Helix. I love ya. Suddenly I just kind of want to take a nap. Nah, let's get back into the plant display tricks. Starting with trick number 2, use the plant's leaves for stability or to help create a better visual of the plant. I do use this more for my upright plants. I think most recently I used this on my pink princess philodendron. My pink princess philodendron has 3 different stems and one of them was kind of leaning off to the side. It just looked a bit awkward. So I kind of layered the leaves together to help support that stem that was kind of teetering this way. So it was more this way, so that it was standing standing similarly to the other two stems in the pot. And yeah, really all I did was just layer the leaves, kind of fold them up together against each other, against the stems to do this. This can also work with like golden pothos. If your golden pothos kind of faces in a weird direction or is doing this weird wonky thing that doesn't like match the rest of the plant, you can layer and fold the leaves in, like kind of wind the leaves together a little bit to help hold everything in place in a much more desirable looking way. It can help make the plant look a lot more full. Yeah, I think this is a great, easy, very, very easy thing to do that can really level up the look of a plant. If doing this still just doesn't quite work, like maybe your plant is a single vine, I'll go to trick number 3, which is to use bonsai wire. I'll link the bonsai wire kit I have down in the description box. I think it was like somewhere under, it was definitely under $15. It came with wire nippers and like 4 different gauges or thicknesses of wire to use. So anyway, I use this a lot for my Hoyas that are a single vine. I did this in a pretty recent plant care with me video. I will wrap some of my awkward looking plants in bonsai wire so I can kind of contort and bend the plant to hold in a specific way that I like. Oh, I also did it with my Denia glauca and it really, really helped. My Denia glauca before was just kind of a long, awkward stem that just kind of shot out this way. I've added wire and now it has more of a, I don't know, like this shape. It's just much more satisfying to look at than it was before. It looked awkward before. Now it looks much more comfortable. I use this method very often, very, very often. I really like the way this looks as opposed to like a moss pole or a trellis. It's just a lot more hidden. It's a lot more secretive of a way to use like a trellis kind of tactic without the trellis look, because I personally don't like the look of a trellis majority of the time. Yeah, bonsai wire. This is a good one. This is a good one. Write that one down. That's a good one. Trick number 4, stop over rotating. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy because I feel like as a beginner, whenever I would look up plant care tips and tricks, it was always like, oh, rotate your plant 25 degrees every so often or whatever. But I think a lot of the time that actually makes a plant look worse. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. Like I think peace lily is a plant that looks a lot better if you consistently rotate it. But oftentimes I think over rotating a plant leaves it looking kind of bare and sparse and just kind of scraggly. So instead, let me tell you this crazy thing I do, which brings me to, I think, trick number 5, which is anticipate new leaves and rotate accordingly. Let me give you an example. What's a good example for this one? My Monstera Thai constellation. My Monstera Thai constellation was being kept in a spot with 2 different light sources. At one point, it was reaching toward a light source off to the side of it, so it got really wide. So to help this grow in a more pleasant, satisfying way, I've rotated it so that the next leaf is going to come in a position I like a lot more. So I have turned this toward that light source it was reaching for before. I've turned it so that roughly the direction the new leaf is going to come in is going to match where I think it looks a little empty or weird. It just is kind of a long, wide plant. I wanted it to grow another bigger leaf up toward like the main section of the plant. So I've rotated the plant this way toward that window that it was reaching for, and now the new leaf is going to come in here. There are 2 light sources in this room, so that does kind of help with this. I also use this method on my Monstera elbow and also my money tree. Maybe this is crazy. Tell me if you guys do this too. Like these plants, I want them to face in the direction completely opposite of the light source. So anytime I'm not filming a video or like cleaning the bathroom or just trying to enjoy the ambiance of my bathroom, I actually rotate them so the back of the plant is what I'm looking at. So that the new leaves will come in facing towards the grow light and the plant will be more uniform. Does that make sense? You'll have to let me know if you do that at all. Also, if people are coming over, I rotate them. Maybe that's crazy. Oh, same for the Dracaena. During the summertime, I actually pull it out and let the front of the plant face toward the grow light and also the windows so that it'll grow more that way, so that there's a clear like front of the plant and back of the plant, if that makes sense. Trick number, is this 5 or 6? is to check out other plant displays. Go to the plant shops, go to your local cafe that keeps plants, go to even the library, the mall, the airport, anywhere that has plants, your friend's house. Or if you don't want to leave your house, plant tours. I love watching a plant tour because I like to look at other people's plant displays so that I have a really whole idea of what I think looks good and why I think it looks good. As I'm looking at these different plant displays, oh my gosh, that looks, I'm noticing, oh, that looks amazing, or oh, I don't really like that. I need to pinpoint why I do or do not like that plant in the setup I'm looking at it in. So like, is it the planter shape? Is it the color of the planter in combination with the color of the plant? Is it fullness? Is it the simplicity of the plant? For me, what I currently know I like that I figured out is I like happy plants, healthy plants. I love an earthy, natural looking plant display with slight pops of color, but I don't like anything too neon. Too many bright colors, or even just like one neon color that kind of doesn't match the rest of the situation, I don't really love, although there are exceptions to all of these examples I'm giving for sure. I also have realized I really like to be able to hone in on one specific plant instead of having to search through the sea of plants to pinpoint any exact variety. Like, I like when there's space between each plant so that I can really get a close-up view. I also like when a plant display looks like it was slowly curated instead of like someone just rushed out to like Walmart and bought up every planter they had, you know? When it looks like somebody has taken the time to really collect the items in their displays. You know, I like when there are knickknacks sprinkled into a plant display. That's what I like, and I've learned those things about my taste as a result of looking at other people's displays. I love Pinterest. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. I spend a lot of time on plant collection tours. Odds are, if you've posted a plant collection tour of your home, I've watched it. That's like what I have on YouTube all the time as I'm doing things around the house. All those things, I love seeing a plant display. It helps me like narrow down and hone in on what I like and what I want in my own plant display. Definitely got to get inspo out there. Definitely got to get inspo. Those are all of my tips and tricks. Now to my complete from start to finish process, like what I'm thinking, what goes through my mind as I'm setting up any specific plant display, a planty corner, you know, a whole room of plants, how I decide where I want to place things. Okay, so to start, I like to pull everything I have available to set up in a spot together so I can see it kind of together in one big lump. This way I get any good ideas if something doesn't kind of match or fit or looks a little bit off from, I guess, my cohesion point, which I don't really have a word to describe what the cohesion point is. It's more of something I can kind of see. If something doesn't fit my cohesion point, it's pretty clear and obvious that it's not going to work for me. So I'll kick that out of this thought process and worry about that in another spot down the line. No matter what I'm setting up or where I'm setting up, I'll always start with the biggest things. So the biggest furniture, in this case, the biggest plants. I'm going to start by placing the biggest plants first. Typically, I like to keep my bigger size plants toward the back of shelves or also the lower shelves for a little bit of stability. I think putting the bigger plants toward the back gives a lot of like depth and visual interest and just kind of gives it like an anchoring point. And this is a really easy starting point for me. So sometimes like getting started is the hardest part. This helps me just know, no, I just need to start with the biggest things and then go from there. Work my way down the line. I want to show you kind of a larger scale example. With this room, I started by placing my largest pieces, which are this Dracaena marginata, my IKEA terrarium cabinet, and my large plant display shelf where I knew a lot of plants would be consolidated to. After I placed those larger pieces, I kind of started adding in my like more medium pieces, such as my plant stand here, or this golden pothos here. And I've just kind of filled it in from there, trying to make sure that each piece, like even from all the way back here, you can see each of my plants on the shelf individually. I think that's a great example. Yeah, just really trying to keep things spread out. As I'm placing things on the shelves, I do very frequently like to take steps back to get a really full look of whatever display I'm doing. I'll step all the way back here. I'll like look at it from different angles to be like, okay, is that a good positioning for that? Does it look good kind of from every angle, whatever direction I'm looking at it? Does it look good up close as I'm placing it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's a great spot for it. Same method I use for my eyebrows. I do it really up close and then I'll step back. And then I'll touch it up really up close, make sure it looks good, and then I'll step back. Does it still look good? Yes. Okay, I'm good to go. I can leave the house. Just know in this whole setup process, like I'm taking multiple frequent steps back to get a more full look at the entire display rather than just the very small section I'm currently focused on placing, if that makes sense. Plant display wise, something looks just a little bit off here, and no, it's not the disheveled stuff I keep on my bar cart. It is the fact that this is very bare compared to the rest of this wall I have going on here with my plants. This is just very bare, and I actually have a bunch of Harli philodendron propagating in water here that eventually I'm going to move up top. That will hopefully trail down and make this look a little more full and cohesive and like finished off. So yeah, taking step backs is very important. Back to the like sorting out my larger plants first. I've also, in my mind, I'm kind of sorting my plants out by section. So like medium plants, small plants, even color of planter, growth pattern of the plant. It can get pretty complicated up in here. And I don't know if it's worth that complication, but those are all things I'm considering as I place my plants in different spots. I think this is more to help keep it like, as an example, on this shelf, I have a few terracotta planters. I want to make sure that when I'm placing terracotta planters that I'm not placing them all lumped up together. I want them to be positioned equally throughout the whole shelf so that it looks all more cohesive. If I just lumped all the terracotta together, I don't think that would really look good. That section might look good and the rest of it might look good, but as a whole, I don't think that whole thing would look good. Although that's not always true. If I'm just like doing a plant corner, sure, all the terracotta is fine. So yeah, with a shelf like this specifically, I do try to like spread out the different areas I've categorized my plants in. I'll try to keep my trailing plants separated. My succulents, I like them to be very evenly spread out throughout my display. Whatever it is, I just want to try and keep things like fairly spread out through my display. I think that helps it look overall more cohesive. Kind of the last step of this, I will layer and spread them out. This is where I'm going to more thoroughly look at the position I'm keeping my different materials, my different plants, my different knickknacks, all those different things. I have a pretty bad habit of really like densely packing things into a spot. I think that's just years of me collecting plants as densely as I could. I'm trying to bring myself out of that because I just don't enjoy the look or the feel of that anymore. So I do like my last step to be really layering and spreading things out. I want to see the plant's unique features. I have really curated my planter collection over the years. It's stuff I really connected to when I found it. It was like they were exciting for me to find. I want to really be able to enjoy that in my display. I don't want it to be hidden by other things in front of it. So I do try to spread things out so that I can see a portion of not just the plant, but also the planter as well, that I can see it as a whole. Like I want to be able to see each of my items as a whole on its own outside of just like the entire display. I want to be able to hone in on that one thing and really be able to soak it in. Is that dramatic? I think this is a really important step for me in my displays just because of where I've been just fitting as many things as I could on any given surface. I realized that really, like, not only did it not look good to me, I was losing plants and they were literally dying, being hidden behind other plants. I don't want to do that anymore. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of all the time I've put into caring for these plants. I don't want to do that anymore. So I do really try to like layer and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. So that's how I set up a plant display. I hope that you got something from this. I don't know, like, please, if you found this helpful, leave me a comment and let me know. I very much appreciate it. It's very helpful for me and my channel, so I know what kind of content I should make going forward. And on that note, like, even if you didn't enjoy this video, please tell me. I want to know. I want to know. Plant displays are something I've become increasingly passionate about, especially as I've downsized my collection. It has given me downsizing my collection and having less plants to maintain has helped me to really be able to focus in on the display aspects of it, which just has made it feel like a much more whole, full plant keeping experience. And I love where I'm at in my plant collection in my Jungalow home. I do. I really like the way it looks. I feel very comfortable. It's fun for me. Yeah, enjoyable for me to hang around. So thank you so much for spending your time with me here today talking about plant displays. I love this kind of thing. I really could talk about this forever, but I'm gonna cut you loose here. And thank you for making it to the end of the video. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. I can't do it today. I can't do it today. Bye.